How do you navigate as a silver and gold investor what is often extreme volatility within the precious metal sector? Silver and gold and the precious metal mining stocks in particular can have some radical, crazy moves. How do we deal with that? We'll focus in initially on the metals, silver and gold, some things you can do to make sure you don't get run through the emotional ringer. But we've got a lot more to talk about as well. A Ponzi scheme. Yes, the P word. Ponzi scheme that you possibly could be somehow involved with. Me as well. I'm going to talk about that. It has to do with a fruit and your phone. I'll leave it at that. Next up, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. There's Bitcoins all over. We're going to talk briefly about Bitcoin and why all this Bitcoin have you noticed that has stolen a bit of the shine from silver and gold over the last 10 years. We got some news on Bitcoin, some insightful information about what's going on with Bitcoin and how that could turn into a possible catalyst for gold and silver also later in this year. And we're going to talk about the great taking, right? That fact that they can take all your assets. We're going to touch on that. Q4 earnings are coming up. Oil. Big news in the oil patch. iPhone sales and Middle East news. Again, pointing us toward this fact that we've got geopolitical turmoil. We got a lot to cover. That's a lot. Don't forget this Wednesday, I'll be putting out a giveaway video. There'll be a link to it in every video I put out subsequent, where all you have to do is go to that video, leave a comment. It'll say, thanks, Pimbex, our sponsor, who's helping sponsor the giveaway, and you'll be automatically entered. It's going to be at least 20 ounces of silver. I'll be throughout the week kind of showing you what's involved, and in that video showing you as well. So don't forget, it'll be on Valentine's Day. I almost forgot to say that. I apologize. I appreciate you guys. It's a bummer when your kids lose 5 games in a row. I'm always telling people, like, these parents take sports too seriously, but 5 games in a row? I mean, my gosh. Anyway, what do you need to do to be prepared to navigate the volatility that you will experience in the silver and gold sector? I've got some concrete ideas, okay, so that we can feel good, even on days like today. I woke up at 5 a.m., wide awake. That happens sometimes, right? I won't say I was necessarily really more anxious than normal. I'm usually anxious in the morning. I have a lot of energy when I wake up. And anyway, I woke up at 5 and I'm like, well, there's no going back to bed now. I checked the gold price, down $26 per ounce. It's like, oh, great. What a wonderful way to start the week, right? But you've got to be prepared for days like that, for mornings like that. I'm going to take a look right now. Let's do an up right now spot price of gold. Where are we now? Hey, all right, man. It looks like it's only down $9.40, right? So this morning, 5 hours ago, I was laying in bed. I could have panicked, right? No, I was, not happy about it. We got to be prepared. I'm going to tell you some things you can do to be prepared for these crazy ups and downs. Let's check the silver price live in the basement. We're live, guys. 200 of us. Thank you for the thumbs up, man. That's awesome. Let's get to 300 today so we can ring the golden gong, huh? We got a lot to cover. I know I'm dilly-dallying around. Looks like silver is down nothing. I can't really tell. What's this say? It says down 0.02%. So silver's $23.17 in the spot market. It was down, I think, almost like 25 cents when I looked. How do you deal with it? Okay. Everybody's different, right? You are an individual. Some people are like, well, I like when the price goes down. That means I can buy more. I like blah, blah. Well, I already got enough. A lot of us do. And I don't think anybody really wants the price of silver and gold to go down. How can we do it? Number one, I got it all for you here. Get out a pen and paper. By the time you're done, you're going to be more peaceful and in harmony with yourself and at harmony with your silver and gold investment. This is the Silver and Gold Self-Help Show. Welcome to the basement, okay? Number one, you have to be mentally prepared. You have to accept the fact that silver and gold are volatile assets, okay? I can't stress this enough because I've struggled with it more than almost probably anybody you'll ever meet. I follow the gold price up and down, but you've got to, at your core, accept the fact that silver can make wild moves, silver in particular. Natural gas is another one. I guess apparently the traders that trade natural gas call it the widowmaker. Silver can be a bit of a widowmaker as well, right? Heart attack. We don't want to have a heart attack over the silver price. I'll give you an example. Right now, we're sitting at what? $23 per ounce on silver. We talked about this in a previous live stream. I can guarantee you, absolutely, you want one guarantee about the silver price from where we are right now, $23 per ounce. I can guarantee you 100% that at some point in the future, this is the one prediction that will come true. From $23, we'll either be $4 higher at 27 or, okay, we'll be at $19. We're going to hit one of those first, right? I think it's going to be to the upside, but it could be to the downside. And we have to be mentally prepared that anything is within the realm of possibilities. Hello, Zook. Thank you for the super chat. Zook says, sorry, you'll have to exchange my crappy currency into your crappy currency. Yeah, no joke. I love exchange. We talk about silver and gold, Zook. CoinShop Chris and I like to use the term convert, right? You can convert your unicorn fart dust, your paper money, whatever you want to call it. They can print that stuff ad nauseum. You can convert your paper money into real metal, into this. Here's a 3-ounce silver heart, okay? This came from Bison Bullion, I think it is, something like that. People always ask me. I don't know if you can buy them online or not. It's a 3-ounce silver heart. It was a Valentine's gift to Susie that I've absconded. Is that the word? Absconded? I'm so bad with words. Hegemony. Anyway, I took down here in the basement. It's crazy. They'll let us convert paper into real metal that's been valuable, and that's not what this is about. This is about your emotional well-being as a silver and gold investor. All right, and some tools you can use. Only acquire the silver. I'm a silver stacker, but this goes for gold as well, with money that you think you'll never need, okay? Only buy silver with money that you think you'll never need, right? Not money that you think you're going to need in 2 months to pay your car insurance, not money that you think you're going to need at the end of the month to pay the electric bill, right? Not money that you think you're going to need maybe even in a year or two for whatever expense that might come up. If you only use money that you think you'll never need, that you can just hold on to, like when you buy silver or gold, it's generational. I hear a lot of people say that, and I never really realized, but that's the way I think of it as well. When I buy metal, I think about, I don't ever want to sell it. I have this wonderful, warm feeling that at some point when I'm an old man, right, and I'll still be making a video every day, don't you worry, either a live stream or a video, I promise anyway, that when I'm an old man, I'll be able to pass that along to children and grandchildren, right? I wish my great-grandpa had done that, right? It would be awesome, right? But, and I love my relatives, but nonetheless, you only want to use money that you think you're never going to need, that you can hold on to forever, okay? Forever and ever. At least, you never know what's going to happen. You know how life goes, right? You got the same life. We're all in the same boat, right? Stuff happens. We know that. Thank you, CoinShop. Chris, we got to 100 thumbs up. Let's do that right away. Sorry, I have to interrupt this broadcast because we have 100 thumbs up. And that means we ring the bell 10 times. That means if you don't like bells, mute your earbuds or however you're listening to me. I may be being broadcast across the intercom system at JP Morgan Chase or Goldman Sachs, wherever you are. If you don't like bells, please mute. Thank you. So you only want to use money, right, that you think you'll never need, that you could like bury in the backyard or whatever, like think of a stack of, let's say, $10,000. Let's say somebody delivered a stack of $10,000 to your front door and they said, You can do whatever you want with this money, but you can't spend it. You got, right? Put it in silver, bury it, and forget about it. Let your kids have it. That's security. That's what it is, okay? Now, the other big thing you can do, dollar cost average. We can't emphasize this enough, okay? That helps take the emotion out of it. A lot of people rush into silver and gold when the prices are skyrocketing, especially silver. Silver's a momentum. People, oh, silver's going up. Silver's going up. I got to run to Costco and get some silver. Well, they don't have any. But nonetheless, everybody wants silver when silver's going up. Dollar cost average. Tell yourself, here's a way you can do it. Every 2 months, every 3 months, every month. Every 6 months. I don't care, whatever schedule you want. It's up to you. You're in charge. You row your own boat. You row your own boat, okay? But set a schedule and stick to it. Say, oh, I'm going to buy 100 ounces of silver every 3 months. If you're fortunate enough to have that kind of money to do so, Mr. Moneybags, right? I'm going to buy 1,000 ounces of silver every year on November 15th. I don't care. Just set a schedule for yourself. It helps take the emotion out of the equation. Don't be one of those people that chases it, okay? Because that's what happened, unfortunately, and I hope this is not you. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That includes me. That includes you. Everybody except Susie and Coin Shop Chris. Those are the only two people I know who never make mistakes. But all the rest of us out here, we make mistakes. You know Coin Shop Chris, right? Integral part of Ron's basement. You know Susie. Susie's sitting right above me. She's like Jerome Powell, right? At the Federal. She's like the Wizard of Oz. Susie controls this whole situation. We love Susie. Anyway, set a schedule, stick to a schedule. That way you take some of the emotion out of it. I would say like once a year, but is okay, but I would do like once every 3 months, once every 2 months, something like that. That helps you eliminate. Now, what about this thumbnail that I put out? I'm selling 33% of my silver. Is Ron getting out of silver? Have a schedule for getting in to silver, but just as important, and I'm guilty here as well, because I just started writing it down, so it may be amended, but have a schedule for getting out of silver. Sure, you bought it with the mindset that I'll hold this stuff forever because it's been valuable for thousands of years. It survived every political system, every war that the world has thrown at it. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'll be right back. Don't you leave. You need a schedule to get out. Now, before we talk about that, let's talk about getting into silver. If you want a dollar cost average into silver, please consider Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. They're an online bullion dealer. They sponsor Ron's Basement. They make this and all the videos, all the shows possible. I get at least 2 emails a week over the last 3 months from you guys telling me how happy you are with Pimbex. Can I leave it at that? I can also tell you that I've been very happy with Pimbex. I was a customer before they sponsored the show, okay? Best prices, best selection, best service. To me, they check all the boxes. And if you ever get into the position where you think you might want to convert an IRA into silver or gold, talk to Pimbex as well, right? I always recommend, right? Talk to as many people as you want out there. Shop around when you're buying bullion, but do yourself a favor and check out Pimbex as well. I think you'll find what all these people that send me emails find, and I found as well. You'll get more metal for your money with Pimbex. Pimbex, Pimbex.com. Thank you, Pimbex. You want to have a plan to get out. How are you going to get out of silver? It's easy, right? It's easy to buy and think, oh, I'll just keep this forever. Like I said, I'm going to dollar cost average into silver. Don't put all your money into silver or gold, right? Don't do everything all out. All right. Everybody's different, so I'm not giving financial advice, but I would recommend, at least from my experience, you don't want to put everything. I still have a bank account. We still, but know when you're going to get out. Now, for me, as I was thinking about this, and I'm guilty, okay? I am not really practiced what I preached. I'll get out of some silver a third. If we get to a silver price of, let's say, $65 per ounce, I'll convert from silver into some other real assets. Maybe some farmland, maybe some oil-related investments, maybe some real estate, something real, right? You don't want to get out and put money just into paper, because at that point, right, it's, oh boy, you know it's coming. Yeah? You can feel it, right? I mean, you know what's coming over the next 4, 5, 6 years. That paper money is going to continue to struggle. So have a plan. I'll get out of a third, right? I always say, sell a third, convert a third, and hope you're wrong. Hope that the remaining 2/3, silver goes to $600 per ounce, $100 per ounce, whatever the case may be, but have that. Does that make sense? All right? Does that make sense? The other thing that we need to consider when getting out with this plan is you can look at price, right? Whatever that means, measured in U.S. dollars. What's the price of silver measured in Confederate dollars? Go ask somebody in Atlanta whose great-grandpa left him a giant chest full of Confederate dollars, right? It's infinity. So the other thing to consider as a exit strategy to silver, Chris, I couldn't read that last ding-dong you threw at me, is the silver to gold ratio. And what I'm considering, and I'll be curious what you think, is that right now, I don't own any physical, very little physical, very extremely little physical gold. But if the silver to gold ratio were to get down to like 30, right? So right now it'll cost you about 90 ounces of silver to buy. Hold on. Need more likes. Coin Shop Chris is mad at you guys. I love you, but Coin Shop Chris is angry with you guys, huh? We need more thumbs up. Don't forget, guys, press the thumbs up. It looks like a thumbs up. That should help you find it. And usually it's down there somewhere. You may need to minimize your screen. Anyway, thank you for the thumbs up. It helps us get the word out to more and more people. So when you're going to convert your silver, right? Maybe we're talking about how to get the emotions out of this. You want to be at peace, right? You want to be at peace with what you got. Maybe have a dollar unicorn fart dust level where you'll convert some into real assets. But also, the other thing to consider is when that silver to gold ratio drops, if you own a lot more silver than gold. So right now, if you want to go to your local coin shop and trade some silver for 1 ounce of gold, it's going to take you 90 ounces, roughly 88, 85, whatever, 86.4 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Isn't that crazy? I wouldn't do that in a million years. That does not feel like, does that feel like a good trade to you? Here, why don't you bring me 4 tubes of American Silver Eagles and a half tube, so 4.5 tubes of American Silver Eagles, and I'll trade you 1 ounce of gold. I mean, I don't have any gold coins here, but if I did, I'd do it in a second, right? I mean, it's insane. So the other thing to consider is if the silver to gold ratio gets down to, let's say, and the number that I come up with that feels right for me is 30. Right? If I can get to a point where I can trade 1.5 tubes of American Silver Eagles for 1 ounce of gold, sign me up. But again, not with everything. Maybe another third of the stack. The key here is to think about it, to have a plan, maybe even write a few things down. If you felt that in life, like if I really want to learn something, like if I'm watching a video on how to, when I first started the YouTube channel, right, guys, I knew nothing. Don't go back and look at my videos from 3 or 4 years ago. I was reviewing Aldi chips and all kinds of crazy. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? I would watch videos about, because I wanted to provide you with good content so that you would stick around. And I realized that what I love is gold and silver. What I've been doing for so long is gold and silver. Anyway, when I would watch these videos about how to make good videos, believe it or not, you might be laughing at this video, but I watched a lot of videos about how to make good videos. And if you write things down, and what that has to do with you right now is, I challenge you, when you get a chance, write down, if you already have all the silver and gold you want, write it out. What's your plan for getting out? Maybe you never want to get out, but if you do at some point, write down your ideas about when and under what circumstances, and consider things like the dollar value of silver. We don't want to put too much emphasis on that, but also consider things like the silver to gold ratio, or maybe you own nothing but gold. I don't know, if I own nothing but gold, I'd be converting it personally. I'm not giving financial advice, but if I only had gold, if you're sitting out there and you've got a stack of 10, whatever those things are called, 1 ounce gold buffaloes, right? U.S. Mint, you gold buffalo. Are you right? You're right now, you're watching, you got your 10. I mean, you could get what? 900 ounces of silver? Yeah. 2 monster boxes almost? Anyway. Enough about that. Don't go all or nothing. That's another key thing. Row your own boat. Coin shop. Don't compare. Don't compare what you have to what you think I have, or what some guy on the internet is showing you, this giant stack of silver. Don't compare. Row your own boat. Okay. Do your dollar cost averaging. Comparison is the thief of joy, because you know what? I have whatever silver I have. If I look at some other guy, and there's a lot of people out there, I guarantee you, probably you, maybe you even, that owns more silver than me, and I think, oh man, I'm sad. Oh, everybody, right? Well, there's some other guy who's got half as much as I have, who could look at me and be, row your own boat, okay? Keep a list. I'm big into lists today. We're talking a lot about lists. Keep a list. Why? Why you invest? And so, because these ups and downs, they can feel absolutely crazy. Hey, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts says, row, row, row. Yes, they can feel crazy. Keep a list of like the top 5, 6. You want the top 6? I've got my top 6 fundamental reasons why I feel comfortable owning the amount of silver and then also precious metal mining stocks that I own. Number 1, it's a real asset you can hold, right? It's real. I won't show you some silver. I got silver here. I could show you. It's real. You can hold it. It'll maintain your wealth, your buying power. Ask anybody from 500 years ago. If they had to come 500 years into the future, right, to right now, would they rather have the paper money that was the the money of the day? No, it'd be worthless, right? If some dude died 500 years ago, think about this. Your great-great-great-grandpa to the 90th degree, right? We both might be the same guy. If he died and his family buried him and they put a bunch of whatever the paper currency was back then, who knows, right? German, whatever, French, whatever it is, they stuffed the casket with that, and suddenly we were able to resurrect him from the dead, right? And they either stuffed that casket with paper money or they stuffed it with gold and silver coins. Suddenly, right now, he's back with us. What do you think he'd prefer? You know what he'd prefer. He'd prefer the metal because it maintained its value. He'd wake up and be like, wow, things are a lot better. I can basically still buy the same or more with all this silver and gold. If he woke up in a bed of paper money, he'd bring it to anywhere in the world. They'd be like, we don't, maybe for collector value, but they wouldn't even nobody would want it. Okay. So remember that it maintains, there's a finite supply. Did we forget about that? These are the basics. There's only so much gold on the planet. There's only so much silver on the planet. And in particular with silver, a lot of it gets consumed, blown up, used up, thrown into landfills, you name it. Okay, there's only so much. There's an infinite supply of paper, electronic money, of debt, of cryptocurrencies, right? There were like 5,000 cryptocurrencies that came around during the crypto boom. They can make as many as they want. It's infinite. You can't make as much silver and gold as you want. It's finite. Finite, okay? Finite. It's outlasted every fiat money system. We know that. It's also outlasted every political regime that's come around, every economic system. Thank you, Metal Seer. Oh, yeah, you said thank you. Yeah, wow. Yeah, gold has bounced back. Thank you, Metal Seer. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Super appreciated. Okay, and it's a worldwide asset. It's been valuable. Silver and gold have been valuable forever, everywhere, in every environment. Thank you for that super chat, Alex. Hey. Wow, you guys, I appreciate it. Let me have a sip of coffee. We're going to talk about the Ponzi scheme. We're going to wrap up the silver, and then we're going to talk about Ponzi scheme. Because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of you. No. And I really appreciate you joining us today. Please, if you've not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. We're still having the New Year's special. It's free to subscribe to Ron's Basement. All the content is free. Super chats are always super appreciated, never expected. But all you got to do is subscribe and turn on that bell thing. That way you get notified every time. Usually I do a live stream somewhere every day around 10 a.m. Unless I got 5 basketball games to go to for my daughters. Family comes first. I'm sure you can understand that. Be prepared with silver and gold. Guys, it's a rough ride at times. Also accept the fact that the price is manipulated. Okay, that's just the way it is. All right, it's manipulated. The exchange is manipulated. It's been proven. Last year, we got convictions of J.P. Morgan Chase traders. There's people who have spent their career, right? People that we owe a debt of gratitude working for the. Thank you, Ron McAdams. Wait a minute, I missed a super chat. Metal Seer. Who else? Hold on a minute here. I'm having technical problems. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay, we're back. All right. Ron, thank you, Ron McAdams, for the super chat. If I missed another one, Coin Shop Chris, thank you, CM. Howdy, Annie Oakley. Hey, guys, you know what? We got 315 people here. I'd like to see at least 100 of us type 88888 because the moderators are great. We got Sassy Silver and Annie Oakley with us today. We've got Coin Shop Chris. We've got Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. We have Craig Edmonds, and there's one other guy, the one and only Coin Shop Chris. Thank you, moderators, for all you do. It is much appreciated. It's manipulated. Remember, we called natural gas the Widowmaker? Well, silver in particular can be the Widowmaker, right? Also, it's lonely out there, boys and girls. Remember, we're talking about the crazy world, how to remain peaceful and calm as a silver and gold investor with Ron from Ron's Basement. It's lonely out there, right? Look, that's why we come to places like this. And don't just come here, right? There's other places like Arcadia Economics, Yara and Chris Marcus. There's Bald Guy Money. Look, don't just listen to me, please. I like to say I'm my own boss and I got the craziest boss in the world. But it is lonely. So we have to search for community, especially in the Western G7 nations where most of us abide, because we're the lone wolves, right? We're the people that broke away from the pack and went out and pulled the head out of the sand, right? So took our thumbs out of our ears. We didn't jump into the fish tank. Did you guys hear that? I'll be quick. Some guy jumped into the fish tank at a Bass Pro Shop in Alabama. So you think you're crazy? You think I'm crazy? We're not that crazy. Some guy stripped naked and jumped into the giant fish tank at an Alabama Bass Pro Shop. That really happened. You can look it up, okay? So we're lonely. Maybe we feel sometimes, us humans, we need community. That's what's so cool about all of you that join me here in the basement. We generally think alike. We definitely share a very common view of the precious metals market. So seek out other people that think the way you do, that are willing to challenge the status quo. Okay, and that's hard, man. I understand. Right? It'd be a lot easier just to turn on the Children's News Network, go upstairs, turn on CNN, and, okay, All right. Oh, okay. No, you don't do that. You are the type person that, pulled the covers back, looked under the hood, however you want to say it. But that can also be, you need to realize, being a creative person, right? I would say you're a creative person can be difficult at times. So do all those things, set a foundation for yourself, right? In terms of buying silver and gold, in terms of your mental attitude toward it, and everything will be okay. You guys want to hear about a Ponzi, right? We're going to talk about the great taking, right? That idea that that there's this setup going on that could actually result in all of our assets being taken. But I want to talk about a Ponzi first, okay? Hold on one second. Let me have a quick drink of coffee. Thank you. We got 200 thumbs up. Let's do the bell. This is a bell warning. So, for the guy that runs the intercom system at JP Morgan Chase, because we know that you're all listening, you may want to turn the intercom off for 1 second. And a little more for our friend Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. We ring the cowbell at 200 thumbs up. It's just something we do here in the basement. 350 people. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Let's talk about Apple Computer. You want to hear about a Ponzi scheme? Okay, just stay with me here for a second, because I'm telling you, right? Gold and silver are undervalued. Silver in particular. A lot of smart people say silver is the most undervalued asset on the face of the earth. The opposite of that is Apple Computer stock. Do you own it? You do probably own some, either directly or indirectly. Maybe you have some money in a 401k. Maybe you own it outright. I don't know. Look, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just telling you what I see when I look at a company like Apple Computer and compare it to the value of silver and gold and the value of precious metal mining stocks in particular. This is mind-blowing, guys. This is mind-blowing. And yes, I have a degree in accounting, so I know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to make this very simple for you, okay? Apple Computer, the company, okay? If you take all their assets, everything they own, and then you pay off all their debt, okay? So you take all their assets, you pay off all the debt they own, they only have $60 billion in assets. That's called net tangible assets, okay? Pay off all their debt, there's $60 billion left. The total value of the company on the stock exchange, the value of all the stock, like if you wanted to buy out the entire company of Apple, almost $3 trillion. Okay, so they have $60 billion in assets when you pay off all their debt, okay? But a value of $3 trillion. That means that the value of their assets is only 2% of the entire value. Market cap is a technical, fancy way to say it of the company. Okay, so that means that for each one share of Apple, that's around $180, okay, per share. For each share that you own or anybody owns, there's for $180, there's only $3.60 worth of real assets. That means if you own a share of Apple stock, you think it's worth $180, but the real assets that back up the company of that 180 are only $3.60. So that other, $175 in value is just make believe. Oh, Apple's the best company in the world. Apple's a tech company and tech is the future. And Apple has this ecosystem that could never be penetrated. Well, talk to the people at companies like Xerox or IBM or any other number of companies that in the past had enjoyed that same aura around them. If you own a share of Apple stock for $180, you have $3.50 worth of assets. The rest is hot air, make believe. Apple's going to go on forever and be the even biggest company. How much bigger can they get? Okay. So that to me and to a certain degree makes it a Ponzi scheme. You got a bunch of people every day who trade millions of shares of stock, right? It's kind of like the game of musical chairs. Like, okay, I'll sell you, okay, Bob, and then just add, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing real backing it up. Very little, very, 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 very little real backing it up, okay? And that's not just Apple. It's a number of companies. Facebook's probably the same. Microsoft, to a certain degree, is also the same. It's just the value, right? The value of the company, the price, is based on a bunch of nothing but hot air. And you hear people talk about that with the Magnificent Seven. Thank you, Metal Seer. He says, oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Metal Seer. I'm gonna interrupt this program to comment. Metal Seer gave a super chat that's super appreciated, but he also shared a critical piece of information. He recommends you read Multicultural Mercantilism by Miss Tyson, which projects what will happen now that the 50-year petrodollar is dying. I watched a great 12-minute video with this Miss Tyson. She worked for the New York Fed. She's very smart. She set up financial systems all over the world at the world's biggest central banks. Write that down, guys. Multicultural Mercantilism. And later on today, search that up on YouTube, or better yet, read what he's talking about. This woman is legit, okay? Very legit, and knows what she's talking about. So are we in a Ponzi? I would call it a Ponzi, right? If it's just a bunch of people trading Apple stock that makes the value go where it is, but really underneath there's nothing. It's just new money coming in to pay off the people that want to sell, right? It's completely different, by the way, with precious metal mining stocks, like one that happens to sponsor Ron's Basement, Fortuna Silver Mines. When you look at their net tangible assets, they have what's called a fortress balance sheet. Very little debt, okay? A lot of assets and very little debt. And when you compare their assets to the market cap of the company, it's completely different. Honestly, I haven't done it for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, but there was a point in time not too long ago where the assets of the company, after you paid off the debt, were more than what the stock market had valued it at, right? In the case of Apple, it's like 2%, right? The value of the actual assets is, in the case of Fortuna, at that point, it was over 100%, okay? And to replace those assets at a company like Fortuna, they're a global gold and silver mining company. To replace those assets, to rebuild all those mines, would likely cost more than what they're carrying them on their books. Now, I'm not giving financial advice. I've owned Fortuna Silver stock for years and years before. It's like Pimbex, right? I worked with Pimbex before they sponsored the channel. I owned Fortuna for years before they sponsored the channel. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just sharing with you some facts about the company, and you can dig in for yourself. If you like, you can go to fortunasilver.com. Where was I? Okay, so we got that Ponzi. We got the Tyson. What about the Great Taking? This guy, he's legit. He's telling us, right? And here, let's read. This is why I bring this up. Can your assets be seized? Can the government, can big business, can the banking sector, it's probably more like the banking sector, seize your assets? Well. Zero Hedge is a very popular website that kind of gives a different view on what's going on in the financial world and also geopolitically throughout the world. Their top story today, The Great Taking, exposes the financial endgame. It's all about taking of collateral. Remember, your house that you think you own, my house that I think, how would that make you feel? Like you think you own it, you paid your mortgage off, but it could be used as collateral? Your car that you think you own, that you paid off, could be used as collateral to back up these banks that have all these quadrillions of derivatives amongst themselves. Apparently, there's laws that have been written that make that the case. That's the scary thing. Let me read what Zero Hedge. We've talked about the Great Taking. Again, there's a free book and a free documentary you can watch. One of the very best exposés of the covert well hidden, bellicose attempts to rob you and me, all of humanity. Barring the minuscule number of psychotic individuals comprising the amicable opposition of their material possessions and their immaterial freedom. Okay, wow. Written by David Webb. That guy really went in. You want to hear this? He introduces the book on page 1 in Here, sit down. I'm going to read this to you quickly. This is about our assets, supposedly, potentially, and the guy that is behind all this is, let's just say, legit, okay? Taking of our assets. You ready? What is the book about? It's about the taking of collateral, all of it, the end game of this globally synchronous debt accumulation super cycle. This is being executed by long-planned, intelligent design, the audacity and scope of which is difficult for the mind to encompass. Okay? Included are all financial assets, all money on deposit at banks, all stocks and bonds, and hence all underlying property of all public corporations, including inventory, plant and equipment, land, mineral deposits, inventions, and intellectual property. Privately owned, personal, and real property financed with any amount of debt will similarly be taken, as will the assets of privately owned businesses, which have been financed with debt. If even partially successful, this will be the greatest conquest and subjugation in world history. We are now living within a hybrid war conducted almost entirely by deception, and thus designed to achieve war aims and with little energy input. It's a war of conquest directed not against other nation states, but against all of humanity. That's the great taking. All right, enough of that. Read it if you're interested in it. You know, it's a scary situation. What about Bitcoin? Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin stole the thunder of gold and silver over the last year. Everybody's still talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going to have an ETF come out. Well, there's a little bit of a bad part of that story, okay? Because that's going to put Bitcoin in the hands of the big the big financial services companies like BlackRock, okay? The big guys, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, okay? We're talking about Bitcoin ETFs, okay? Will they really buy Bitcoin? Will it be like SLV ETF, GLD ETF run by BlackRock, where a lot of people have apparently proven the fact that the SLV ETF doesn't always own all the silver that it purports to own. All right. What about, I got Coin Shop Chris's blood pressure going up. What about GLD? Same thing. What about, this is the fact with these Bitcoin. This is everything that the Bitcoin people are against: regulation, big government, the SEC, blah, 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 big financial institutions, the big banks. A Bitcoin ETF, which now they're all cheering for, is going to be going exactly against what they all are so against. Big government, right? Check. It'll be regulated. Big financial institutions, check, right? It doesn't make any sense. ETFs invite big finance, central bankers, politicians, and regulators. So, look, there's no doubt about it. Bitcoin in particular has stolen some of the thunder from our friends, silver and gold. I'm not an anti-Bitcoiner. The one good thing about crypto and Bitcoin is it introduced a lot of people to the horrors of big banking, of big government, of money printing, right? Of the financial system in general. But now they're all rooting that they can become part of that very same finance. It doesn't make any sense. And I got one last thing to say about that. A lot of people are saying that once that ETF gets announced, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. So hold on to your Bitcoins if indeed that ETF does come to fruition. Okay, what do we have coming up this week, guys? We've got some big financial. It's kind of a big financial week. Hold on here. I wanted to run through just a few of these quick headlines so you're prepared. You know what's coming. All right. Hold on here. Bear with me. Something about we're not going to talk about that. TikTok doctor says it's okay to be fat. All right. Well, that's a good headline. Key events this week. Earnings season kicks off. We know what we're heading into with the U.S. economy, but I still wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of BS, quote unquote, good earnings numbers come out this week. And I need to talk to you guys about New Hampshire and gold and silver legal tender. Oil, here we go. This is the one I wanted. Oil plunges after Saudi Arabia cuts oil price for February amid persistent weakness. Oil is the lifeblood of the world economy. Everything, what you're looking at me on right now is likely made out of plastics and oil. Oil is energy. Oil is everything. The Saudis are saying that they're seeing weakness in the oil market. So they're cutting prices, okay? The economy is slowing down, all right? Apple, one of the world's biggest Ponzi schemes. Jeffries says iPhone sales in China plunged. Okay, says, quote, our industry checks show Android stayed about flat, but iPhone sales were down 30% last week. 30%. Okay, that's as Apple goes, so does a lot of the S&P 500, because it's unbelievable how much of the S&P 500 is made up of those 7 big stocks, of which Apple is either the biggest or one of the biggest. Let's move on. Here. What about the Middle East? Shipping giant halts container shipments to Israel. Okay. A source told Bloomberg that Costco bookings to Israel will end next week. We talked yesterday about in the north, from Lebanon, Hezbollah, I think it is, sending rockets into the whole Middle East situation is a big powder keg. You know what I'm trying to say. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I want to mention to you, and I'll have information about this in the description. It's already in the description of this video. Our friend Daniel Tinkham will be testifying for you. Yes, you, tomorrow at the New Hampshire Legislative Building at 11 o'clock local time. Again, that's the New Hampshire Legislative Building, not New Hampshire. I've got it right now, New Hampshire. Daniel Tinkham is a regular contributor to The Basement, super successful, smart guy. They are working on HB 1674, legal tender legislation in New Hampshire. Okay, you can go. It's open to the public. I can't go because it's like a 17-hour drive for me, and I have a family and another job that I have to do on top of this. Joy that I get spending time with you down here in the basement. But if you want to go and you want to support, you're in the Northeast, legal tender legislation. Again, I have some information. You can go to Daniel Tinkham's website, and there's some links that I put again in the description as well that you can check out. Okay, guys. What did I forget? I'm always forgetting something. Bear with me here. Hello? Okay, there we are. So we live in challenging times. We're dealing with an asset class, gold and silver, that can be very, very volatile. Okay, we need to have a plan. Again, I recommend writing things down. Know why you bought gold and silver. Know what you will do if you are a person who thinks you may convert some to other assets in the future. Have a plan for that as well. Okay, the world is crazy. We've established that ad nauseum. We will be prepared for no matter what they throw at us as we now head into, this early part of 2024. Most of us are in agreement that silver and gold are a great way to hedge, to protect ourselves against what could be some very interesting times. That I'll be here for you through it all. I appreciate you joining me today, and thank you to all the moderators, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.